Hola, hola, hola. Welcome to the Coach Marti Angel YouTube channel. And today is the day I'm actually recording live for the Mujer De Exito Unbounded show. So thank you for being here, for all of my watchers and my listeners. Gracias por estar aquí. Welcome to another episode of Mujer De Exito Unbounded. I am your host, Marti Angel. So today's story has a lot to do with a little bit of coaching mixed in with some story, mixed in with some tips for you to rock your six figures. Mujeres hermosas, chulas. Let's get to it today on the Mujer de Exito Unbounded. I'm so excited for each of you. Mis hermosas, chulas, welcome back to another powerful episode of Mujer de Exito Unbounded. A reminder before we go forward, if you are watching me on the Coach Marti Angel YouTube channel, remember to subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss an episode. If you're listening to me wherever you listen to your favorite shows, a reminder for those of you that are podcast consumers that the algorithm on the podcast is such that if you download it, then it gets counted. So download the episode, share it out, and then you can dump it. All right, everybody. I'm so deeply honored. This is me, Marti Angel. This is the podcast for you, the MujerPreneur. And this is a seasoned MujerPreneur speaking to you, another seasoned MujerPreneur. But here we get raw and we get real. I want to share with you something really important. I do not edit out. This is truly, truly me. I do not edit out the ums. I do not edit out the quiet spaces because those are on purpose for you to think about something I just said. And I want to be authentic with you. So if I say a lot, it's because I say a lot. If I laugh at my own jokes, it's because I laugh at my own jokes. So, mujeres hermosas, chulas, this is a podcast where you get raw and real, not edited out stuff that supposedly makes it more watchable. But then those are like fake poopy things. Anyway. Oh my goodness. Sometimes I just trip out on my words. But anyway, welcome to another episode of Mujer de Exito Unbounded. I'm so deeply honored that you've chosen to spend this time with me. I call this the Drive Time Podcast because it never goes over 40 minutes. So you can listen to it on your way to work and then on your way back if you need to. But usually I try to keep it within 30 to 40 minutes tops. So we are in a season of radiance right now. Everybody is out. Everybody is out looking, looking for some sun or, looking to hydrate your skin or looking to protect your skin. Summer is the time we actually take a look at what our skin really looks like. Because in wintertime, it's hidden behind all the clothing and the scarves and everything that we wear. So right now, we are in a season of radiance, mis hermosas. We are stepping out of the shadows, out of the burnout, out of the exhaustion. And we, mujeres hermosas, chulas, you as well as me, stepping into our light as the visionary leaders we were born to be. So, mujeres, before we dive into today's topic, I need you to know who is speaking in your ears right now. Not the bio, not you, the brand, not your neighbor, not your competition, not anybody else, but la mujer real, the real woman. Because I believe that you cannot lead people to a place you have not been yourself. And I have been through the fire, hermosa, más de una vez, which means more than one time. I've been through the fire many, 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 many times, right? And so I have something for you. And what I want to share with you is that right now I'm going to be very vulnerable and share something. Here's what you need to know about me. I, Marti Angel, am a 2-time cancer thriver. I have stood in front of the mirror with tears in my eyes, with tears in my eyes, looking at a face of pain, looking at a face of illness, and looking at myself and just crying the whole time I'm looking at myself. Nothing but the raw truth of a body fighting for its life is what I was watching. I saw my body in the mirror and I made a vow. If I live through this, and I changed it to when I live through this, I will never take this body for granted again. I made that promise through I was 27 years old when I had the first scare. Every morning that I wake up and I see my happy health in the mirror now, today, fast forward to today, and I look in and I see the color in my cheeks, the light in my eyes, the skin that is thriving. That is my badge of courage and honor. Esa soy yo, vencedora vibrante, right? That glow is something that I don't take for granted. That glow is not bought at a counter. My face, was earned in hospital rooms and healing seasons, right? And alternative hospital rooms, because I want to be honest with you, I did not do chemo and radiation any of those times. So I am a thriver without chemo and radiation. I don't know what my life would look like if I had succumbed to chemo and radiation, but I did not. But I did go through alternative hospital rooms and healing seasons. And those belong to me. Those belong to me. So, mujeres hermosas chulas, if you have ever had a time where your health was not at peak level at which you want, and you were there like me, looking in the mirror and thinking, Lord, please give me the strength to make it another day. Thank you, Lord. I've made it another day. Give me the strength to make it another day. Lord, I've made it 5 more minutes. Give me the strength to make it 5 more minutes. Those were my prayers. Thank you for making it 5 more minutes and making that 5 minutes into 10 minutes, into 20, and then finally from hours to days to weeks to months and years. But as I want to share with you this little story, as a former middle school principal, I took over a school in an underserved community. In a underserved community that everyone had written off. Everyone had written off. Oh, they don't need that. They don't need this. They don't need that. It was like the black sheep of the family, the district family. All the other schools were getting great things. In my school, we had to beg and plead and, and almost sacrifice in order to get things for my students. And the test scores, oh Lord, let me share with you this little story about the test scores at that school were abysmal. You see, the culture was broken. And instead of sending memos from an office, I figured, what good is it going to do to send memos from an office? So I got in the trenches. Luckily, I was just coming out of the school assistant principalship, so I was very close to the teachers and all of that. So I got in the trenches. I began to see who were my a little weaker teachers, and I began to model in their classrooms. I began to teach their classes. I mentored my teachers. I met with my parents at their kitchen tables. I led by example until that school became a model for the entire district. Why? Why did I do that? Because I am a big proponent of walking the talk. Porque yo no lidero desde un trono. Yo lidero desde las trincheras. In other words, I don't lead from a stage. I lead from the trenches. That's the only leadership I know, and that's the only leadership I believe in. That's called servant leadership. I've always been a servant leader. And here is what it tells you about me. And here is what ties it all together as well. Mis bellas, hermosas, chulas. Before I go any further in my story, or in my tips, here's what I want to share with you. The story I'm sharing with you puts me in a very vulnerable state of mind. So if I stop and maybe tears fall, just bear with me. Bear with me. Here goes the rest of the story. Before the principalship, though, I stood in front of college students and taught cellular science. I taught what happens inside a cell when you nourish it, and what happens when you feed it toxins. I taught how cells communicate, how they repair, how they renew. So when I talk about skincare, because as you guys all know, I do have a business in skincare. That's one of my businesses as well. So when I talk about skincare, I'm not reading from a script. I am translating biochemistry into a power for my comunidad. I am bringing to you, my comunidad, science-backed truth to you mujeres, to you women who have been sold chemical cocktails disguised as luxury beauty items for far too long. If you're still with me, hermosas chulas, remember you're watching me on the Coach Marti Angel YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell. If you're listening to me wherever you listen to your shows, gracias por estar aquí. Thank you for being here. Make sure to download the episode and share it out so I can actually help far more mujeres. All right. So I've been asked, one of the things that I've also been asked is, Marti, what's your mission? What is the mission? Well, my mission is the fire that wakes me up every morning. Because that mission is to build a global legacy of badass mujeres rocking six figures. Latina leaders leading with health and refusing to shrink and glowing while they do it. Right? And rocking six figures so that you can live the life that you've always wanted. Porque cuando una mujer pone su salud primero, when you put your health first, your wealth is what follows, right? Porque cuando una mujer pone su salud primero, su riqueza la sigue. Y cuando ella gana, toda su familia gana. Remember, the healthier you get, the healthier your family gets too. So this is a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. Okay, stop. All right. Anyway. Hermosas chulas. If I cannot have fun on this podcast, well, then what good is it, right? If you can't have fun in your business, what good is it, right? All right, hermosas. This is a movement that I've started. This is a movement. You know, servant leadership, leading through health and wealth, right? That's a movement. That is who I am. I am a Six Sense Mujer, Latina biz coach, empowering Latina coach, and international best-selling author. And you, Hermosa, are the ones that I have to thank for this. You, Hermosas, are part of this movement. Gracias. That's all I can say to you. Gracias. Now let's talk about the glow. All right? Let's talk about the glow. All right. So all of the audio sound effects come from my mouth. Now, I guess I could put edit them in, but, I've got to stay true to what I said. This is a raw and real podcast. So the sound effects you hear are coming from my mouth. All right. Today's conversation is one that is close to my heart and very close to my face. Literally, look at my face. If you can see my face, you can see my skin. All right. Wealth starts at the cellular level. And you know what I'm putting together? I'm putting together a Thriver's Guide to Clean Beauty and High Performance Leadership. That's going to be available very, very soon. And I'm going to give a masterclass because there's so many people out there that are burning themselves out. I'm going to give a short masterclass, not those kinds that, that you sign up for and, 45 minutes later, they're still going through the reasons why they're giving you this and what they're going to, and what you get. Oh yeah, what you get, and it's like 90 minutes into it and you're like going to boring, right? Well, that's not the kind of masterclass that I give. So my masterclass you'll be lucky if you spend 45 minutes. And am I going to try to sell you? Oh my goodness, no way, Jose. Right? So if you would like to learn a little bit more about why your health is your brand and why that glow that you've been chasing isn't vanity, it's actually a business strategy. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell and look in the description below for the link. Mujeres, remember que tu salud es tu marca. Your health is your brand. So let's dive in. Yeah. So I want to start with a confession. For years, I was the woman with the 12-step skincare routine and it was like, the more the cream costs, the better it is. I was buying a $120 jar of cream that promised miracles. And look at me. Do I look like I'm 20? Absolutely not. And you know what? My skin did. It looked tired. That's what my skin did. It looked tired. It looked tight. It looked like apagada, dull. I was investing in my health from the outside in. I had forgotten about my nutrition, my mindset, my prayer life, and then undoing it all with harsh chemicals every single morning. And here's the thing. As someone who has taught cellular biology, I knew better. I knew what endocrine disruptors do to the body. I understood absorption rates through the dermis, but I had compartmentalized my knowledge. The science lived in the classroom, and the beauty routine lived in the bathroom. Let me repeat that. Because the science that you learned in my classroom was able to transfer into your beauty routine that lived in your bathroom. But when I was doing it, that separation, when I kept them, separate, was costing me my radiance. Now, here's the science, hermosas. Right? I know you're going like, okay, that's it. I'm done. Science. Out of here. It's kind of like the kids that used to take my algebra class, and every morning I stood at the door and I just smiled and they would say, I hate this class. I hate this class, professor. I hate this class. And it was like, no, you don't. You love this class. And they would just laugh because I always felt that, we had to break the ice every day that they were in class. That's how I was able to get to them and raise their scores. But anyway, back to the science. Your skin is your largest organ. You know that. I know that. But here's what people forget is that it absorbs a significant portion of everything that you put on it. All of those smelly things with parabens and sulfates, synthetic fragrances, harsh chemicals, and all of those are endocrine disruptors. And they don't just sit on your face. They travel into your bloodstream. Now you're looking at me and going like, Marti, is that what you use? Yeah, that's what I use. I do the organic, the organic makeup and, as much as I can. Hence why it falls off. You can see it right here. Anyway, all of the things that you put on your skin travel into your bloodstream and they tax your energy, your sleep, your focus, and your hormones. Did you hear the part about your focus? Because don't you need your focus in order to run your business? When you have fought the big C twice, like me, you do not play games with toxins. You become vigilant. Do you know that it's been 20 years since I used a microwave? You become feroz, fierce. You read every label like your life depends on it because it does. It does. I'm here to tell you that it does. So when I tell you that your glow is connected to your leadership, I'm not being poetic. I'm being scientific. I'm being experimental. I'm being la mujer who rebuilt her health from the ashes and refuses to let anyone or any product compromise it now. Everything is connected. Todo está conectado. Every harsh chemical is a quiet tax on your executive function. And as CEOs of your own lives, we cannot afford that tax. What tax? What tax? The tax that every harsh chemical you're putting on your skin is actually creating havoc in your health. And when you don't feel well, you are not going to business well. So let's talk about what skin actually is, though. Your skin is a living, breathing organ with an intelligence all its own. It knows how to renew itself. It knows how to repair itself. It knows how to glow. It has been doing it since the day that you were born. Mujeres hermosas, chulas. Now you're going to ask me, I know that right now you're going to ask me, oh no, she's stopping again. But if you're still with me, please help me share this out with more mujeres hermosas, chulas. With anybody who's got a business, with any woman you know that's got a business, it's so important you share it out. So remember to subscribe and hit that bell and download the episode wherever you are. Okay, let's go back to where did I teach this? I taught this in the classroom. The cell membrane, the mitochondria, the collagen matrix. This, hermosas, is not poetry. It is biology. Your skin cells communicate through signals. They respond to what you feed them through your bloodstream and through your epidermis. When you give them toxins, they inflame, right? Inflammation. We all know inflammation. When you give them plant-based peptides and antioxidants, they thrive. That's how simple it is. Así es de simple, así es de científico. The problem is not your skin, hermosas chulas. The problem is that we've been fighting it instead of supporting it. You see, conventional beauty products and the conventional beauty industry taught us that no pain, no gain. Have you ever heard that? So what does it mean? It means we're expecting to put things on our face that tingle, that burn, that feel the working, right? Ugh. That tingling means it's working. Mentirosos, liars. That tingling is stripping your skin's protective barrier, which is why you're feeling the tingling. It's damaging. It's not working. It's not working. It's damaging. Oh my goodness. But that's why I fell in love with the science-backed cellular skincare, a non-toxic botanical system that works with your skin's biology. Peptides, antioxidants, plant extracts that your skin actually recognizes it. And you know what? I felt the difference in my health too. But the stuff that I found speaks to your skin's language. Tu piel entiende. Your skin understands that you love it when you give it botanicals that are good for your skin. And when you give your skin what it recognizes, it does what it was always meant to do. You see, your skin was meant to renew, to repair, to radiate. Hermosas, chulas, understand this. Radiance is your leadership capital. Right? Now let's bring it into the boardroom, porque aquí es donde se pone interesante. Here's where it gets really interesting. When you walk into a room, a meeting, a stage, a client call, what do people see first? Your face, your skin, which is your most visible balance sheet. It reflects your sleep. It reflects your stress, your nutrition, how you treat yourself, what your mind is saying. I learned all of this when I was a principal. When I walked into a classroom tired and depleted, the energy shifted. When I walked in vibrant and fully present, the entire school felt it. You see, hermosas chulas, here's what you need to really, really hear. Your face is not separate from your leadership. It is the first message you send before you open your mouth when you walk into that stage, that office, that boardroom, that sales presentation. Tu presencia habla antes que tú. Your presence speaks before you. Because why? Because you need to understand this. You need to understand that exhaustion shows, inflammation shows, and inflammation screams, and so does radiance. When you walk in glowing, people don't just see a woman. Now, let me give you an example. Let's say you feel really, really good. You like what you're wearing. You like your makeup. You walk in. You feel 2 feet taller, don't you? Raise your hand if you are with me. You understand what that feels. You're looking good and you're like, ooh, baby, right? Well, so what do people see when you walk into that room? They see a woman who is well. They see a woman who is full of health. They see a woman who is full of wealth. And in that leadership economy, what you need to understand is that perception is capital. Think of it this way. Harsh chemicals are a loan against your future glow with heavy interest. Cellular skincare is a deposit. So you're actually making a deposit. Every day you feed your skin clean, botanical, science-based ingredients. You are building a compounding interest in your radiance. That is not vanity, mis hermosas, chulas, mis bellas. That is wealth management. That is the CEO glow that I talk about all the time. Right? Whew. So what's the protocol, Marti? Right? You're asking. So what's the protocol? What can I actually do to make my skin speak ooh before I do? You're asking, ¿cómo empiezo? Well, I'm glad you asked. Here's the Radiant Leadership Protocol, and it's simpler than you think. First, clean formulas only. Read the labels. If you wouldn't eat an ingredient, question why is it on your face? Your skin absorbs what you apply. Make every drop count. As a thriver, I can tell you this. Treat your skincare like your nutrition. If it has ingredients you can't pronounce, your cells can't process them either. And second, nutrition is skincare. Hydration, healthy fats, antioxidants. Glow starts in the gut and the bloodstream. You cannot out-cream a bad diet. I like that. Let me repeat that, guys. You cannot out-cream a bad diet. I'm sorry, that just hit me right now. You can tell. La belleza viene adentro. That's I'm going to put that on social media. You cannot out-cream a bad diet. All right. Okay. Whew. Sometimes I just crack myself up. Anyway, okay, third step. Sleep is your strategy. Your skin repairs while you rest. Protect your sleep like a board meeting, because it is one. When I was going through, all of my treatments, all of my C treatments, sleep was my medicine, and it still is. I make sure that my lights are out between 10 and 10:30 every night. Every single night. Well, and then some on Saturdays, maybe 11 o'clock. But the rest of the nights, 10:30 the latest. Why? Because when you get the required amount of sleep, it helps you to manage your stress. Therefore, the cortisol ages your face faster than you ever dreamed possible, right? So, when cortisol is working at aging you, when you are less stressed, you have a filter that kind of stops it. So, how do you manage your stress? Well, maybe let me share how I manage mine. I pray, I breathe, I do yoga, I move, I laugh, I work out, I walk my dogs every day out in the open, out at the park. I try to laugh as often as possible. I try to be with friends at least once a week, and I try to protect my frequency, try to stop the doom scrolling. Everything you do for yourself and to manage your stress will also show, and your face is going to follow. Your skin will follow. Tu paz se refleja en tu rostro. Your peace is reflected on your face, right? Now, let me share with you, all right? Let me share with you a mirror moment. A moment that was a sacred one for me. A few months ago, I caught my reflection in a store window and I stopped. It had been a long time. Yes, I look in the mirror, but sometimes my mind is elsewhere. I'm just, I'm thinking something, but actually putting my makeup on. For the first time in years, I looked in there and I didn't see a tired woman hiding behind products. I didn't see a C patient, the big C. I didn't see a stressed out principal. I didn't see a burnt out entrepreneur. I saw myself bright, calm, alive. I saw the version of me that had fought for her life twice and finally learned to love the woman that was looking back at me. That, mis hermosas, chulas, bellas, that is what I call the CEO glow. It's not about perfection. It's about presence. It's about looking in the mirror and seeing the mujer who is vibrant, healthy, wealthy in spirit, and completely unbounded. Esa eres tú. That is you. O la mujer en la que te estás convirtiendo. Maybe it's you that you're converting yourself into that beautiful woman. Whatever it is you. That's you. So what happened? I had stopped fighting with my skin and started honoring it. And I realized this is what it means to lead unbounded, not just in business, but in everything. When you feel radiant, you think clearer. You love harder. You lead bolder. You become the badass mujer you were always meant to be. The one who can rock 6 figures because she feels healthy, she feels wealthy, she feels strong, she feels in control. Yes, those women who rock 6 figures and raise up every woman behind them is the one that I'm speaking to. Because everything changes when you change, right? So remember, mis hermosas, bellas, chulas, you are a mujer de éxito unbounded. You are unbounded. Your health is not separate from your brand. It is your brand. The CEO glue is not a glue. The CEO glow is not a luxury. It's a leadership asset. It's the face of a mujerpreneur who has learned and who is now building a legacy that will outlive her. And you, hermosa, chula, are worth every ounce of the investment. Salud primero, dinero después, brillo siempre. Health first, money second, brilliance always, right? Well, hermosas, chulas, I hope that you really liked this episode. And if you did, please share it out to a woman who can share it and help me to help more mujerpreneurs gain clarity and focus so that they can begin to rock 6 figures and live the life that they have dreamed of, right? So if this message touched you and you're watching me on the Coach Marti Angel YouTube channel, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell and download the episode if you're listening to me wherever you listen to your favorite shows. So share this on your stories. Take a screenshot and share it on your stories and tag me. And if you're ready to build your own radiant routine, visit the link in the description below and in the show notes. My favorite non-toxic science-backed skincare picks are waiting for you. Vamos a brillar juntas. Or maybe vamos a bailar juntas. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is Marti Angel, Marti Angel, your host of the Mujer de Exito Unbounded, wishing you the best day ever. Con amor y un fuerte abrazo. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Namaste.